Chief Justice Sophia Akuffo will today lay bare her vision for Ghana's justice delivery system when she appears before Parliament's Appointment Committee for vetting as Chief Justice. The vetting, which is expected to last all day, is aimed at assessing her capabilities for the position. Apart from the 26 members of the Appointments Committee, senior members of Parliament's Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, as well as the Judiciary Committee, will also join in the vetting session. Each will have 20 minutes to ask the nominee questions. Now, which, if MPs exhaust fully, will keep Madam Akuffo in the hot seat for at least 10 hours. Chairman of the committee, Joe Sewusu, says the long-drawn process is aimed at exposing the nominee to the public.
Yes, we intend that this one will be different to the extent that she is the ultimate. Ministers are only assistants to the president. This one is the ultimate, and once she is confirmed, finished, unless you prove misconduct on her behalf, you can't touch her, and therefore we want to make sure that we explore her capabilities and let the public build confidence and her, expose her to the public, you know. So we have changed the program. We are allowing every member who wishes to ask a question 20 minutes. The 20 minutes, ask...
All the 26 members, everyone would have 20 minutes?
Yes, ask as many questions as you can in 20 minutes. If you don't want to ask any question, no big deal. But as many questions as you can in 20 minutes. We have also invited the chairman and ranking member of the Constitutional and Legal Committee and the Judiciary Committee to come and assist in this matter. So we'll bring the expertise of those committees that are directly responsible for the judiciary and legal justice to be part of the Appointments Committee. So we think that the experience and competence will be brought to bear on this one. And
each of them would also have the same 20 minutes, just for clarity?
Yes, okay. Yes.
Well, not every MP is excited about the expected long-drawn vetting process. Dr. Poddar Puba is MP for Etwima Kwanoma.
I am expecting a 2-hour vetting, which will let us get to know certain salient things that we need to know, but not just unnecessary things whereby people will just stand in front of the cameras and ask questions just because they want to be before the cameras.
You have been told every MP would have up to 20 minutes, members of the Appointment Committee, to ask a question.
It's unnecessary. Unnecessary. For what? Let me ask you, what sort of information do we expect from the nominated CJ that Ghanaians already do not have? What other information that we expect to know, we expect to have, that Ghanaians already do not have? We have almost everything, and any other thing that probably might come up might be some information probably for intellectuals. For intellectuals.
You don't need it at the vetting session?
No, we don't need it.
He's a woman of substance. He knows the job that he's come to do. And I believe that she will rise up to the occasion. I mean...
Now, while we prepare to join the live proceedings from Parliament's conference room, we ask you what you expect of Chief Justice nominee Sophia Akuffo. Here are some views from the streets of Accra.
Yeah, I expect a lot of questions from mainly the minority side. You see, we have politicized everything. The Chief Justice is already exposed. She's been in the justice system for a very long time. Everybody knows her. But minority would like to bombard some questions which may not be necessary. That is what I expect too. Not necessary. They should just look for relevant questions and ask her. There is no need bombarding her with questions which doesn't matter in the job she's going to do. Spend about 2 hours and get off from that place. That is all of it.
I don't expect much from her, but the only thing I expect from her is to do the good thing that the former CJ did. During her tenure, she did a lot for the country. And I believe incoming CJ2 will do the best.
To reduce it, yes. So like maybe like, let's say, maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes. Okay. Because they know the person before they choose her, so I think the 10 hours is too much. So she should just do the right thing for us. We all need peace and justice, so she should go ahead and do her work. She shouldn't just listen to whatever people will say. She should just go ahead and do what is good. Like, yeah.
5 minutes is enough.
5 minutes?
5 minutes is enough.
For each member?
For each member.
5 minutes.
Yeah, because the question is supposed to ask the woman. They already know. But there's no wasting time for one person. 20 minutes, I think it's too long.
What I'm expecting from her is to come and maybe help the community where she's living or where she's presiding, so that the people there may be relieved from their poverty or the problems that they are going through.
Okay, what I'm expecting from her is that we should put right thing at the right position. That's what I'm expecting her to do.
Well, so those were some thoughts and expectations ahead of the formal quiz, if you'd like to put it that way. Now, let's get a better perspective on how the country's justice system has evolved over the years under the watch of past Chief Justices. Is there anything to build on, and what must be done away with as far as Madam Sophia Akuffo's appointment is concerned? That is, if Parliament approves her. I have in studio with me a member of the Constitution and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, who happens to also be the MP for Gomoa West, lawyer Alexander Aban Kwejo-Kom. To help us with some answers. Lawyer Aban, you're welcome to join us.
Thank you very much.
Really interesting perspectives shared there by some people on the streets of Accra. What do you think?
I think that each of them has their own expectations, and some of them do not even know the justice system very well. But what I would say is that it is their expectation. But my expectation is that Justice Sophia Akuffo would rise up to the occasion and then build on the good works that were initiated and continued by the former Chief Justice.
Before we go into the details of that, this controversy that's building about the time she's likely to spend before the Appointments Committee. Now, we know that 25 members of the committee plus members from the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, of which you're a member, and also the Judiciary Committee, will have 20 minutes each. If they all exhaust that time, she's going to be vetted for about 10 hours. What is your expectation? I mean...
Thank you very much. I don't think we should labor so much about the time. What we must think about is the relevance of the questions that would be put to her, right? Because I have followed a few times the congressional hearings in the U.S., and sometimes they even come the following day, still with the same person. Right? Because they would dig the past of the person, look at the person's voting patterns on issues, his philosophy, and all those kind of things, right? So for as long as it is to help us know the person very well, what she stands for, what she's going to do, what her vision is for the judiciary and for the justice delivery system of the country, I have no problem with the length of time. What I may have a problem with would be whether the questions would be very, very relevant.
That's what I was just about to ask you. So what kind of questions do you expect your colleagues to put to the Chief Justice nominee?
No, I cannot single out questions.
No, don't single out questions,
but of course,
your expectations on the type and quality of questions.
Sure, we'll have to look at questions that border on her own personal philosophy. Because sometimes, you know, when you get to the Supreme Court, it's not always about blueprint law.
Okay.
Yes, because there has been a debate on this, whether judges make law or not. But take it or leave it, I think judges make law. Because if they are there in the Supreme Court and there's a completely novel matter before them, they will not sit there, wring their hands and say that, oh, we don't have any precedent. After all, precedent was created by somebody, so it would be a time for them to also create their own precedents. What philosophy is going to animate the decision that's going to come from the Supreme Court that she will be leading? So all these things matter. So you have to know what her personal philosophy is, what her thought processes are, what her thinking is on issues. You know, in the United States, for instance, they may take issues like abortion and even ask her what she thinks about it. They may take issue about death penalty. Do you believe in death penalty, or you think that it must be done away with? All these are very necessary questions, right? And then issues about judicial independence. Of course, I know the ANAS issue would come in, the welfare of judges, all those things. And if you look at it, these are not matters that can be exhausted within some few hours. But, I mean, be that as may, does not necessarily mean that everybody should ask questions.
Okay.
You see, sometimes it comes as a result of the inertia or the expectations that we have created of ourselves to our constituents. For instance, if you go to your constituency and people are saying, oh, we don't see that you are talking and all that, sometimes you feel that once you have the cameras, you must also talk, right? So yes. Even if what you think would be the most relevant question has been asked by another person, you think through your mind that, oh, you may have to get some other less important question to even ask. So what I would urge my colleagues to be doing would be that, look, it is not a curse if you have not asked a question. And it doesn't reduce your reputation or your standing in Parliament if you have not asked questions, right? So we should, those of us who are also watching should not think that, oh, as for this man, he has been sitting there, he has not asked any question. Okay. What is he there for?
So too much expectation sometimes is, according to you, what makes some of these honorable members ask certain questions that everybody is
sometimes
wondering.
The answer is so obvious that you don't need to ask that question.
Exactly. But what would you say, per your experience, is the one thing or things that Madame Sophia Akuffo stands for?
Firmness.
In terms of the judicial system?
In terms of the judicial system, in terms of her own personal beliefs, right? If she has something doing, once it is right, she will do it and stand by it. I didn't have too much time with her, but I know that I had the rare opportunity to start teaching at the law school just 3 years at the bar. And then she was one of the people who helped the Chief Justice to reduce the academic calendar or the duration from 2 years to 1. She played a pivotal role when the faculty of the law school met. She was there to explain some things. And I've also read a couple of her judgments. And you see that she is very deep in the law, and she's very firm, straightforward in her disposition too. I think that she will be a fine Chief Justice.
No, but you've worked within the judicial system, looking at the outgoing Chief Justice and this particular one, who would be our next Chief Justice, that if she's approved by Parliament, do you see a smooth transition? Because for me, looking back, I see two different personalities, extremely different personalities. Is that true?
Unless you tell me how you see them, because you say you are seeing two different personalities. Unless you tell them,
are they? You've worked with them. Are they two?
Obviously,
are they really different?
Obviously, even if they were twins, they would be different.
No, but in terms of the margins,
both of them are very good in terms of their knowledge of the law.
Would it be a smooth one? Are we likely to see a very smooth transition or a very clear?
It will not be a sharply truncated system. It will run smoothly, right? Because I don't think that between the two of them there has been any issues. No, right? And in any case, the former Chief Justice is already gone, and the system is running smoothly. I don't think that the incoming Chief Justice is going to introduce measures that are going to be so drastic for us to now say that, oh, in the past it was like this, and now it is like this. Of course, it will be a gradual build-up on what the former Chief Justice did. And I think that listening to my colleagues, listening to many people within the law and even within politics, everybody speaks highly of the outgone, and of course they also speak highly of the incoming.
Well, interesting. I'm picking information that that particular vetting process is about to take place, and we know that the Chief Justice is the 4th highest person in terms of ranking in this country. So if the President is not there, the Vice is not there, the Speaker of Parliament is not there, then the Chief Justice runs the affairs of the country. But before we take you live to Parliament's conference room for that vetting process, just a brief introduction to you about who Justice Sophia Akuffo really is. Well, so she served on the Supreme Court for 20 years, and she has a master's degree in law from the Harvard University in the United States of America. And she's also been a member of the governing committee of the Commonwealth Judicial Education Institute and chairperson of the Alternative Dispute Resolution ADR Task Force. She is also on the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Council and has held membership of many organizations. Interesting, talking about the General Legal Council, Lawyer Aban, I was just about to ask you that. Recently in the news, we've had the issue of a lawyer, Francis Xavier Sosu, as regards advertisement, and some lawyers have come out to criticize. Well, they perceive some of the regulations as archaic, the one about advertising in the media, etc. Do you think this incoming Chief Justice, if approved by Parliament, should critically look at maybe a sort of reformation of the regulations in terms of law practice here in the country?
Yes, the law practice, we have the Parent Act at 38, and then what LI 613, which deals with the etiquette, the conduct and etiquette rules of lawyers. It is within that LI that we have the rule that lawyers must not advertise and we must not tout, right? I think, that's my personal view, that that law is now archaic.
Okay, so you agree with Imani Ghana?
Yes, I agree with them. And let me explain to you why. You know, this is a colonial relic. In those days, lawyers were seen not as businessmen. Law was not business. Law was just a practice to help society. And so you don't even charge fees. And that explains the pocket we have at the back of the robe. So that when you have gone to court to assist the citizenry, what they have, they put in there. So that is actually the history behind that pocket at the back of the robe.
Interesting. I'm sorry I'd have to let you hold on here because the chairman of Parliament's Appointments Committee, Joe Sewusu, is speaking now. Let's take you live to the conference room of Parliament.
I'm allowing 2 minutes for those who are taking still photographs to finish, and then you will kindly vacate the room for us. Okay, I think you can now please speak that one. Hello, you can now please excuse us. Kindly do that. Thank you. My Lord Justice Sophia Akuffo. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of the committee, we congratulate you on your nomination. I'll make a short statement. The ranking member will also make a statement, and then we will need you to make an opening remark telling us about yourself before we start asking you questions. On my behalf, all I'm saying is that first, we apologize. The program will start at 10 exactly. We ought to have started exactly at 10. We had some quick meetings to sharpen some rough edges about our procedure before coming here. So we apologize that we're starting later than we have programmed. Second, on Tuesday, I had a press briefing, and I had said that the most senior member of the bench, the President Atibuba, was due to retire in a few weeks. I had operated under the misapprehension that she was retiring July this year. I've been corrected that actually a retirement is July next year. So it's not a few weeks as I put out. I apologize unreservedly for any discomfort that I have caused Mr. Justice Puba. On the vetting itself, this is a novelty. To the extent that the last Chief Justice was vetted by the entire House, this one which is being done by the committee, assisted by the chairman and ranking members of the Judiciary and the Constitutional Legal Committee, is different from, we're departed from the previous practice. That necessarily puts a pressure on how many people will have the opportunity to answer questions. Sorry, to ask questions. It obviously would give cause for apprehension that we will spend a lot more time. We have had discussions. We will try as much as possible to manage the process, having regards to all the circumstances we do. I encourage all members to be as precise and straightforward to the point as possible. In conclusion, I say I expect the cooperation from all of us and the cooperation of people in the gallery. Finally, I want to welcome all the justices of the Judiciary, the Supreme Court. Do I see any other people from outside the Supreme Court? Well, all the members of the Superior Court of the Judicature. I see the President of the Bar Association and other members, and I see the Judicial Secretary. I welcome all of you to the Appointments Committee. Now I'll hand over to the ranking member.
Chairman, let me thank you for the opportunity and to join you in congratulating a respected member of the Supreme Court only being elevated to his first position as Chief Justice, Justice Sophia Akuffo, and to indicate to other justices of the Superior Court, past and present family members, that I'm sure she's already working on the rough parameters and edges of consensus regarding this appointment, which has been referred to us by the President exercising his power under Article 144 of the Constitution. And I'm certain that we certainly will be interested in matters of your fidelity to the Constitution and the way you contribute to reforms that sees improvement in the tortuous, cumbersome process of administration of justice in this country. So whilst I join in congratulating you, I'm sure we are subjecting you to this process as people's representative, just to reflect that the voices of the people contributed in your appointment to the high office and the most important office of the Chief Justice, and the fourth most important personality quality of our country. So we look forward to having engagement with you. You know what the judiciary means to our democracy, which is evolving very fast, and how much your personal contribution will even make it stronger. So we look forward to some dialogue which will look at those processes. We know you, and we know you too well, so we walk the process of improving justice delivery and administration from that. Thank you, Chairman.
Number one, we invite you to make a statement, telling us a short history of yourselves before we start asking questions.
My name is Sophia Akuffo. I have been on the Supreme just since 1995, I believe. It's been so long. And I went to the Supreme Court straight from private practice. Myself and Justice Poddar Puba, we were sworn in on the same day. I wish to state that I really appreciate Justice Puba's presence here, because he's always calling me his twin sister, because we've known each other since first year law school, many years ago. I have one daughter and 2 grandchildren. I come from Akropong Kwapim, but I also belong to many parts of this country. I belong to Ada, I belong to Osu. I believe some of my Osu relatives are even here. And I have lived in so many towns and villages, if you look at my CV. And I have had such an exposure to various types of lifestyles and situations, which I think have, over the years, helped me and made me extremely adaptable to wherever I find myself, because I was very young when I had to learn to adapt. There were years when maybe twice in the year I changed school because my father was being transferred from place to place. My father was a reverend minister of the Presbyterian Church. So this is, in a nutshell, who I am personally. I'm passionate about integrity. I'm passionate about the development and stability of our country. I was young enough, but old enough to see the ushering in of Ghana from Gold Coast. I started school in Gold Coast and I finished school in Ghana. I recall my father taking us to the present airport junction to wave when the Duchess of Kent arrived the day before Ghana became independent. So I'm extremely passionate about everything to do with Ghana. And I'm extremely proud of the strides we have made under the current constitution. It has its little issues and problems, but we have managed to work with it, and hopefully the parts that need amendment will one day be amended, and we'll move on to the next level. The only other thing I would like to say is that I believe that even if in our endeavors, whether in the workplace or in our personal lives, we cannot hit total perfection, we can strive to reach it. So in terms of my attitude to work, I've always believed that one must always ask the question, is this as good as it gets, or can it get better? And if it can get better, how is that to be done? Because of some of my past employment experiences, I've also come to believe in systems, in having proper protocols, proper procedures, spelled out operation systems, so that whether some individual is there or not, what needs to be done gets done, because all the wisdom is not in somebody's head. And if somebody suddenly leaves an employment, life must go on, and life must go on as though the person is still around. So since my nomination, people have been asking me, so what's your vision for the judicial service, the judicial system, the judiciary? And if I have to sum it up, it is quality judges delivering quality justice for all in accordance with the Constitution, and doing it with the optimal application of technology of whatever sort that will help in delivering quality justice. So, so I suppose somebody will ask, what does that mean? It simply means that...
Very well, my Lord. Well, I think if you would bring the curtain down here, the rest I'm sure you get the opportunity to...
Okay. Well, maybe I wanted to preempt.
Very well. We want to be heard too, so kindly wait for us to ask you the question. Thank you very much. Now, the floor is open. As we have discussed, members may take the opportunity now to ask questions. Very well. My Lord, the only advice I'll give is any time you finish speaking, switch off the mic. Switch off the mic for us. But we'll be grateful if you make your answers crisp. As soon as we have a little doubt, we'll exploit. So if you make them crisp and short for us to make it easier. Thank you very much. Now I'm ready. Members. Honorable Justice, I'm sorry, hello.
Nobody like that. Thank you very much, Chair. And I want to congratulate you on your nomination. This is another feat for women. We've always been fighting for important positions in society, and today we are seeing yet another one. My question is about the plight of magistrates and judges of the lower courts. It's been reported that their situation is rather pathetic. Some have not been promoted for a number of years, and this is affecting their morale. And as you know, they cannot go on strike, or they may not want to go on strike. But it is important that we look at their situation so that they can deliver quality justice, as you yourself said. I would like to know what steps you'll be taking to ensure that these people are taken care of so that they can give us a much needed quality justice that you yourself talked about just now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Honourable Chair, to put it very crisply, I'm just coming, I will just be coming in, but to deal with the problem of the lower court judges, in fact, not only just the lower court judges, but also the conditions within which they work, the infrastructure, and so on and so forth. There will be the need to do a quick review of the current situation and then make proposals for moving it forward within the terms of the applicable general rules concerning remuneration and so on and so forth. But regarding promotion, I think that will also have to be reviewed. There are standing processes. Those processes are brought into play to ensure that no one has been overlooked or no one will be overlooked. And it will be based on performance. That system is already in place as far as I'm aware. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that assurance. My second question is about statements that the Judicial Service has some archaic laws or guidelines. And quite recently, we've heard about the fact that advertising using the social media, it's a problem. Can you, first of all, try to educate us on what really this is, and also what steps you'll be taking to review some of these archaic regulations? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Mr. Chair, archaic laws and processes and procedures, I believe that there's a continuous process of reviewing, as I said, what we do and how we do it. Whenever in the course of judicial work or in the course of applying the laws, one comes across issues that may seem out of time, so to speak. There's always room for revision or law reform, and I know that law reform is a continuous process in this country. Concerning advertising by lawyers, that's not so much of a judicial issue as a regulatory issue. The General Legal Council regulates the bar, and it regulates the bar under the Legal Profession Act and the Ethics and Code of Conduct that is applicable to lawyers. If what you want is my view on advertising on social media, personally, I'm a 67-year-old woman. I've been at the bar since 1973, 74, something like that. And I believe that dignity of the bar is as important as dignity of the judiciary. And the idea of lawyers touting themselves on social media is personally distasteful to me. But that aside, the law is there clearly against touting, because it is considered an improper conduct on the part of a lawyer. Every profession has its rules. Some of the rules have to do with sometimes even how you comport yourself.